Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk Antiques. Is that right? Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
I'm still confused from the last program.
Well, I can see why you was confused. You was busy.
I was, wasn't I?
You
I mean, you even had a
really
last-minute
busy.
big sale.
Yeah, I did. But now this is Let's Talk Antiques, and we pick a subject each week, and I think we're going to talk about outer space,
Well,
inner space.
Oh, yeah.
July is the 50th anniversary of the moon landing.
No, that never really happened. You do know that.
Well,
That was done in Hollywood.
Well, you
Well,
know,
out west somewhere, wasn't it?
Right, yeah.
if you look at some of those satellite pictures from the satellites we got orbiting the moon, you can see the stuff we left.
So
Rethink that.
those satellite pictures come from
Those
Hollywood.
don't really happen either. They're not really there either.
No, it's all a figment of your imagination.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I guess they really did.
There's
right?
a lot of people out
But
there that
there
really
is a
believe
conspiracy theory.
that. Oh, yeah.
But we're going to talk about that. But I think before we talk about outer space and all that, we're supposed to get an update from somebody over
from
here.
one of our producers.
I'm just going to let that fall wherever. Hey, so you're listening to Let's Talk Antiques on WMSR, 1320 AM, every Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. And you can catch us also on LightTube, Channel 6, Charter, Channel 193, and on YouTube and Facebook. Just give us a search on those and you can find us easy. And please like, share, repeat, comment on Facebook for us.
Yeah, by the way, 107.9 on the FM side, too.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
with all that, they can watch us or hear us anytime
Well,
they
you know,
want.
we're on 106.7 in Tullahoma.
We are?
Yeah.
There you go.
Tell you, we're getting around, aren't
We're
we?
getting around. Yeah.
You know, there's some people came. It was a brother and sister. The sister lived in Georgia and she was married, and her brother come up from Florida, and so they came up last week to visit with me because they sent me on American Pickers, and so that turned out pretty interesting. So there's always
Did you
somebody.
trade anything good with them?
Oh yeah, I traded a couple pieces. Not
Wheeling and dealing, isn't he? He's always he's a wheeler dealer.
the trade's the fun though, Howard. Don't you think?
I don't know. I'm not into it like you are.
Yeah, but didn't you used to trade cars and stuff all the time? Old cars and.
Well, I used to buy them. I have trouble letting go of them after I got them. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, there is people like you.
Same deal with your good collectibles.
Well, you know, I'm a hoarder.
Well, I know a person. You know,
David's not a hoarder.
when
Have
you
you been to his warehouse?
No, not at all.
Well, you know, when you first start out, I guess, collecting, you want to collect everything and you don't want to let it go. But after a while, I think the light comes on that you got to let some of it go so you can get more stuff if you want more.
Well, that's true. You know.
How many square feet can you? I mean,
Yeah.
after a while, it becomes what you said.
Yeah.
I mean, when you can't walk to it and you enjoy it, then
Sure.
you don't need it.
Yeah. Kind of like watching that hoarders on TV.
Oh,
You ever
yeah.
watch- Oh, my goodness.
God.
And that's the way mine is. I mean, I got some narrow aisles, but you can walk through
You
it
can
all.
walk through it. It is.
As long as they're not climbing over stuff to get to things.
Oh, yeah. Well, I tell you what, I told you that story. A good friend of mine, Dick Langford, he had one of the better collections I've ever seen, but he had such good stuff that a lot of people would do that. They would step over stuff just to look at something and tear up. No telling what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not good.
No.
It gets like that. Well, anyway, we are going to talk about the space program and the memorabilia that is available for that.
Boy, and you won't believe it. Howard,
Well,
there is so much stuff. You even got one.
well, you know, when you sent me the text message about, and I read, and I happened to say something to my wife. She said, "Well, you know, we got a bunch of glasses from the space program." I said, "Yeah, I guess we did, didn't we?" What? She said, "Well, you packed them away." And I said, "Well, how many of them were there?" And she says, "Well, I think there might be 5 or 6." Well, I found one.
Okay.
And was it packed away?
Yeah, it was. I dug through a bunch of stuff. But anyway, it says Man on the Moon, July 20th, 1969. Eagle Tranquility Base. Neil A. Armstrong, Edwin E. Aldrin Jr., and Michael Collins. And so they got this one glass.
It's really pretty.
It is pretty glass. So,
Red, white, and blue.
you know, this is the kind of stuff a lot of our listeners may have
And
from back in the day.
Looks like you've never even drank it.
Well, I don't know.
But you know,
But anyway, so I did look it up on the web page, eBay, and apparently there was quite a good many of these. This little glass is worth, depending on what listing you look like, buy it now anywhere from $5 to $10, plus about $8 or $7, $8 shipping.
Yeah.
For a glass, it probably cost what 89 cents or back
Where,
in the
where
day.
did you get it, Howard? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but we've had it for years. And I'm wondering now where the other ones are.
Yeah.
Whether they're all the same or were they different.
if you have 5, there's $50.
Yeah,
Rob used to use them for target practice.
probably. That's what I'm afraid might happen, because who would have thought the glass that you probably got in a cereal box or maybe soap. Remember you used to put glassware in soap?
Oh, yeah.
Boxes of does or whatever it was, you know. You don't remember that.
No, I'm just
Oatmeal.
thinking
Don't
about
forget oatmeal.
glass,
we used
broken
to,
glass in
we
your
used to
in
go
your,
buy gasoline. We used to
stuff.
buy gasoline, and you'd collect little coupons and then redeem them for dishes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that stuff's worth money
Just
today.
like when you bought groceries, you got stamps.
Oh, yeah, I used
Those
to get the
green
stamps, too.
Yeah.
I remember green stamps,
Yeah.
but just a little.
But so there may be some of our listeners or watchers who might have something this, you don't think much of it, but really it's a collectible item today.
I know.
But there apparently were a lot of these available at the time. 'Cause I think one of the guys that has a sale on there has like a lot of 60 of them or something like
Oh
that.
man, no, that's
So,
not how
yeah,
you want to do
no,
it.
No, you want that one of a kind. But still, here's a glass, a drinking glass, that you may have in your cupboard that might be worth $5-10.
Yeah, and if you got Neil Armstrong or somebody to sign it. it'd be-
Well, yeah, that would really.
why
be
didn't you
something.
do that, Howard?
Well, Neil and I weren't. We weren't on talking terms.
Didn't he camp?
Well, this is back before I was in the camping.
Oh,
business,
okay.
signaling. But anyway, that's. I just thought that was interesting that something that little and that insignificant would be
I know.
worth that much money today. And there's probably a lot of people here that could have something like that.
I guarantee you, Howard, you're right. There's probably a lot of people got not only glasses, they could have stamps.
Oh yeah, stamps. I never thought about
And
that.
over at the museum over at South Jackson, they've got memorabilia from out at the base that was involved in the space program.
Oh yeah.
And
Like
they have-
what, Philip?
There's a space suit. I know one that there's like a Gemini spacesuit.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever been down to Huntsville to the Space
Oh, yeah,
Center?
yeah.
Boy, what a interesting
It's-
place
it's
to go.
pretty impressive,
Oh
yeah.
my, that's really nice.
Just think about just the shield, those pieces from the shield,
Oh yeah, the heat shield
Yeah.
that protected when they came back.
Look how much they're bringing. Remember
Little
that one?
pieces,
Was it
yeah.
over in Texas that it?
Oh, the
broke
one,
up?
the one that had the
The
what was it?
Challenger.
shuttle?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little
didn't it break
Challenger.
up? And people was grabbing all that stuff, and they told them you couldn't keep it. Remember?
Yeah, but some people.
I'd have
kept
been
it.
keeping mine.
I'd have kept it.
They
I
didn't
would have
make
kept my
all-
mouth
they didn't make
shut.
all that stuff.
But yeah, there's some of that. Didn't somebody have one of the pieces of rock that came back from the moon? Somehow or another they got it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
They were
Uh-huh.
trying to
They
get it
bought it
back.
at a government auction. And
Yeah,
then- and they wanted it
Now they want it
authenticated or
back.
tested.
Yeah,
they
they
want
want
it
it
back
back.
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it wasn't supposed to have got
I
out.
think she
or-
got to keep it. She did. She
And-
won the court case.
and-
We talked
Yeah,
about
I mean,
that.
she paid
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
The government sold it to her.
no,
Wonder how big a piece of rock it was.
I think it was a bag of powder.
But
bag
it
of
was,
bag of powder.
Yeah,
it was
space-
from the Apollo 11 mission, the first lunar landing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be now something like that would be unbelievable to have.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, we digress here. I know that. I just thought that was interesting that something that common was, and there's probably several people around here that have something like that.
Sure. Yeah. Well, in 2008, at a celebration of NASA's 50th anniversary held outside Washington D.C., a champagne toast was offered in recognition of what the agency had accomplished in that time. As invited guests raised their glasses, many noticed that on the side of the flute imprinted was the logo for NASA's 50 years. As the toast ended and the glasses were emptied, many held on to the stemware as a souvenir of the event and NASA's anniversary. It's been documented that NASA souvenir hunters began their charge long before the 50th anniversary of the organization, but the milestone put NASA in the spotlight and started a surge among space collectors that hasn't slowed down to this day. The public, always enamored by space exploration, has long desired to own a piece of NASA's adventures. In some instances, the space agency met this longing by sharing memorabilia carried to orbit on some of its flights, but more often, companies looking to celebrate the United States space achievements produce collectibles inspired by NASA's missions and milestones. The concept of the Personal Preference Kit, or the PPK, was introduced by NASA to formalize the carrying of mementos by astronauts on their missions. Before a flight, the astronauts had to get the list of items they intended to take as souvenirs validated by NASA. The total allowed weight of the item was limited and the bulk restricted to what could fit in the small bag provided to contain them. Even the PPK bags today, measuring 6 by 7 inches, are themselves very collectible. For example, Wally Schirra's PPK, one he took during the Gemini 6 mission, contained Navy wings, 33rd degree Mason ring, 1950D coin, a Florida hunting license, 20 gold coins, and 5 silver pieces, and various flags, and the 15 GTA 6 patches. And the patches are worth a lot. There's a picture of 3 of them here. It says, "Still hot to this day as the Apollo 11 mission button honoring the moon landing." The button sells for about $100, but finding one is tough these days. Which probably means that button's worth more than $100 if it's hard to find.
It's hard to find, it is.
How about a flashlight? Even a small space-flown object such as the flashlight from Apollo 9 was valued at $25,000 because it was signed twice and certified. This heavy brass milled 2-cell flashlight is 5 inches long, a diameter of 1 inch. There were 8 such flashlights on the NASA mission. 4 of the 8 are stored at the National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. Originally intended for friends and families, these early space-flown trinkets have been passed down and traded to become very popular NASA collectibles. Where am I at? Sorry, guys. Heritage Auctions in Texas is known for the auction of high-priced NASA mementos. Heritage Auctions recently sold a spacecraft ID plate from the Apollo 11 lunar module, the Eagle, for $468,500. Not a bad plaque. A pair of spacesuit test gloves worn by astronaut Scott Carpenter sold for $20,000. And then there was a golden U.S. Navy helmet worn by John Glenn during his record-breaking transatlantic flight in 1957, and that brought $46,250. Other items from the first Apollo included Armstrong's own Apollo 11 flag, which was the largest ever carried to the moon and back, and a Western Union telegram to Armstrong at his Wapakoneta, Ohio. That's an odd town in Ohio.
Wapakoneta.
Wapakoneta.
Okay, Wapakoneta. That sounds better than mine.
Oh, yeah. A lot better.
Homecoming celebration from President Richard Nixon. The flight suit worn by Armstrong during the Gemini program sold for $109,000. An envelope signed by the 3 Apollo 11 crew members as insurance cover before they went to the moon went for $18,750.
Now for an envelope.
For an envelope just signed by
Ain't that something?
Oh boy.
let's see. Space artifacts were very coveted and hard to find to start with, but with the advent of eBay, it makes it more accessible to regular people. These days, such items go for $30,000 to $40,000. He said.
That doesn't make it very accessible to me.
No. The web made it easier for people to connect over niche passions for all sorts of things like that. Now there's more opportunity to find such things that you could never find before. but it also takes some of the fun out of it. I don't know. Searching eBay's fun. Too.
I like that. It's fun to me just to find what I want.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, we
Yeah.
gotta take a break.
About break time. You got a stopping point there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. The good thing at NASA collectors don't have to take out a loan to get a piece of space or postage space history. For example, the 1969 moon landing first day cover can be purchased for just $10. A cover signed by the astronauts themselves, though, will bring you $2,000.
Wow.
That's what we was talking about.
Yeah.
See, there's all kind of opportunities
And
to
yeah, so there's all
find-
kinds of stuff about it. We'll go to commercial here and
Yeah,
come back
we'll-
and
we'll
let you
be
know what
right
you can
back.
find.
Hello, I'm Pickin' Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in and get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy pick.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
All right, we're back, like Max said, and we're talking about memorabilia for the space program.
Oh yeah.
Is that where we're at?
Hey Philip.
Yeah.
When we went to break here, look at this checklist. This is the checklist, Howard, that they used on the Gemini.
It's the Gemini 5 flight checklist, which was used during re-entry after the 120 Earth orbital flight in 1965 by Pete Conrad and Gordon Cooper. This item brought just a hair under $20,000 at auction recently. The item measured 3 by 8 inches and is made from double-sided heavy cardstock. And it's got, it's a whole.
Well,
bunch of
read
pages.
the checklist there,
It's
Philip.
got-
There's only like 34.
Drogue pins stowed. Number 2, stowage boxes secure. 3, stowage vents open. 4, splash curtains secured. 5, ditch handle locked. 6, hatch handle secured. 7, D ring up stow. 8, arm restraints up, and it runs like that all the way. All overhead CBs closed except OAMS heaters and CB open and H2O heaters open, kind of stuff. So I mean, it's just like it's their checklist of things they had to.
And how many pages is it?
Things they had to make sure.
Well, it looks like there's
it's
several
bunch.
pages.
There's a bunch of
It
them
looks
there.
about
Yeah.
I can see the
15, 20 maybe.
Wow.
So
That's a lot of checking.
That's a lot of checklists. I'd say they had to
if they
flip
forget,
a lot of
and if
things.
they forget one of those items, it could be a disaster.
One.
Or something hit you on the head.
Hey, check this out. Tell them about this, Philip. These two
Okay.
things. This one.
Encased
and
in lucite is a genuine segment of the Apollo 9 mission heat shield. This heat shield
a little old
measures
piece now.
Just a little
3.625 by 3.125 inches. The item was actually used and has a chip at the top of the lucite, as well as a few dings on the back edge due to age. The item is from the collection of Roy F. Larson. They don't give you a price on that one.
What about the picture? Does it
There's
have
a treasure piece valued at roughly $1,000. Is a humorous 8x10 photo of Gemini 5 astronauts Pete Conrad and Gordon Cooper after being recovered by the USS Lake Champlain. It's just a picture of them playing around with each other and sign. One of them says you need a shave and stuff, and the other guy goes maybe tomorrow, and so with their autographs on it. So that would be pretty cool to have.
And then we got this first day cover.
There's the 10-cent stamp of 1969 celebrates the Apollo 11 landing on the moon. A first day cover such as this sells for $10. However, the cover signed by astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins sold for $1,500 at auction 2 years ago. Now, what is a first day cover? I'm not. That's a.
Ronnie, you used to buy them, didn't you?
What's that?
Those first day covers, you know.
What is? I've not heard that term
for
before.
stamps.
Yeah, you know, that have the card on it
Yeah, but
and the stamp.
yeah, but
And it's also stamped that day, you know, that the first day.
It looks like a postcard to
it's
me.
The first
is
day,
it not actually a postcard
Yeah.
though?
that they go on sale.
Yeah, it's the first day that they go on sale, and it's got the date and everything stamped on it. See how it is?
Oh, okay. All right. It just looked like a postcard to me, so I wasn't sure exactly what that was. Okay.
All right, and so now the fun begins. Oh, before we get into looking up some of the space stuff, what about that launch the other day you was talking about?
Oh, I was talking about the SpaceX launch on Monday, which is their third launch of the Falcon Heavy, which is their big rocket that they're all excited about. It's the most powerful rocket launching today, and the only thing that was ever more powerful than it is the Apollo rockets.
The Saturn V.
Or yeah, the Saturns.
Saturn,
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. And anyway, so they did a launch on Monday that they were saying was their most complicated ever, and it went up and did 4 different deployments of satellites. It went up to low Earth orbit, let loose like 5 or 6 satellites, and then the engines fired back up again, and it went up further and deployed some more satellites, and it did that 4 times. And they said that was the most complicated thing of expecting an engine to restart 4 times in space. I mean
That's amazing that they can do different orbits. You know,
that's pretty awesome.
Yes.
And just how we'll get to it later, but I follow SpaceX online, and there's quite a bit of fanatical collectors.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
SpaceX stuff.
I mean, you can actually look up some stuff, and it brings the money. but-
Yeah, I mean, not as much as a NASA Apollo Command Module Skylab Crewman's Toolkit, which somebody was asking $2,500 for and took a best offer on. But it's been a long time. When did Skylab go down? Do y'all?
$25,000.
It's been a long
25,000,
time. Was that
I'm sorry.
70s? Late 70s?
Did it go
early,
down in the
late
70s?
I'm guessing.
I don't know. That's what the International Space Station's been up a lot longer than Skylab was.
Yeah. I remember it was all over the news when it was falling. It was on there for a long time that it's going to fall.
Yeah, and with them figuring out exactly how they could make it fall at the right time so it didn't, come down on New
Do the
York
least
City.
amount of
Yeah,
damage.
Well,
Hey,
you know, that's an interesting thing. You're talking about the lab, something coming down. I understand there's a lot of these little satellites and debris in there, and they actually have to worry about getting hit by something
Lord,
that
there's
we
so
have
much-
put up there now.
There's so much space trash
yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
And not just us, other countries.
Oh, other countries too.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I heard a story about this agency that it's their job to track all those things. In an interview with the lady who was talking about it.
Yeah.
Skylab fell July the 11th, 79.
Okay. All right. Well, I always thought I was a little older when that came
Well,
down
and
there.
it was like a controlled fall because they fired the boosters to make it leave orbit
Okay.
to bring it down in the Indian Ocean. That's something.
Hey, you speaking about stuff that's sold. How about that? Did you see the Apollo 11 museum quality?
Because that's a replica. That
But
didn't
look
show
how
up
much
on my
that
search.
replica brought.
Only
Look how much it brought.
$12,000.
Well, for a replica?
That's a pretty good replica
Yeah.
price there. I've got a Apollo 15 Seeger cover flown to the moon. Dave Scott, Jim Irwin, and Al Worden all autographed on that. They wanted $9,000 and took a best offer that was north of $5,000. Let's see what else we got here. A lot of NASA artifacts, aviation, and miscellaneous test equipment, and more. So this is like 3 racks of equipment. Kind of looks like stuff in the radio station
Yeah.
here. 8 bids, $5,100 for just random racked equipment.
They probably don't hook up to anything now.
Brought a lot more money if it'd been a Lost in Space rack, though.
Yeah.
Here's a movie rack would have brought more.
Here's a Neil Armstrong autographed photo. PSA DNA graded. They wanted $5,000 and they got more than 4 for it with their best offer. Roger, how you pronounce that? Is it
Chappie.
Chaffee? Oh yeah, Roger Chaffee. Okay. NASA Apollo 1 autograph signed. $4,000 with PSA DNA graded.
Hey, Ronnie's got one better than that. Tell him about that
Okay.
12 moonwalkers.
Well, it didn't bring what they were asking, but it brought somewhere north of $4,000.
Well, that ain't hardly as good, is it?
Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and John Young signed an autograph of the Moonwalkers.
12
I'm
of
gonna tell you
them.
something about these autographs. When they announced the crew of the Gemini in '57, they had so many requests for autographs that they used. They called it an auto pen, a machine that actually signed them, and the secretaries would stamp them. They really looked like a signature.
Yeah.
Some of them were shaky. You know, it was done based on their signature.
On their signature.
So there's a lot of them floating out there, and you don't know if it's machine signed.
Huh.
But if NASA will send you copies of their signatures,
They would?
they will.
Now?
That you can use to compare.
Huh.
NASA has copies of all their signatures.
Well, I bet you the guy that owns PSA's got a copy of
I
it.
guarantee it. He probably got
Because he
hundreds.
graded that one there, and he said it was the real deal.
Yeah.
So.
Now these like this, these newer things probably are. But those old Geminis, you need to watch those.
Hey, we better take a break, and then we'll get back, and we're going to look up. We still got plenty of stuff to look up here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Pick and Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in and get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy pick.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
All right, we're back here once more, and we're still in space.
Okay.
Going to be there the rest of the show, it looks like.
Yeah,
okay.
we're lost there.
What's that collage there, Philip?
That is a John Glenn autographed, signed NASA flight suit. And it says it's museum framed, JSA graded. And so it's his flight suit. It's got a picture of him in it and autographed. I think the autograph is on the flight suit. That sold for $3,275.
The whole flight suit?
Yep.
My goodness.
Well, not the space suit, the flight suit.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
the
that they wore
orange.
under it.
Like a shirt like you
That
got
they
on
wore
there.
Yeah,
under
yeah,
it,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Gosh, I don't know. Let me skip that one. Yes. NASA winged model Apollo Command Module Space Shuttle. So this is like a NASA model that was like an early design of the space shuttle. They wanted $5,000 and they got somewhere right around 3 for it.
Just for a model.
Yeah. Here's you another Apollo replica spacesuit.
Yeah, but it didn't bring that much.
$2,900. That's
Still not bad.
What about that NASA
What
chair?
for? Tom Sachs NASA chair, $2,750. There's another one of these up here, Tom Sachs original Malcolm X NASA chair, which I have no idea what this means. $3,011 with 6 bids. So I'm not sure what the NASA chair is, but let's see. Here's the Apollo 11, 12, and 13 original flight plan set. So these aren't like, these are they were a whole bunch produced at the time. So 4 bids on those went for $2,650. Man. Let's see. NASA Mercury Atlas flight hardware. So this is part of the rocket engine from the Atlas rocket engine. They wanted $2,800 and got about $2,400 for it. Not bad.
Hang on a minute, Philip.
Yeah.
Ronnie,
Yes.
is all those signatures that you're looking at right now, you're talking about the auto pen, is all that auto pen?
These are all auto pen examples, and we have all of them there. Here's Buzz Aldrin.
All of them, yeah. And so they're actually, when they auto pen them,
And
they actually use a pen. A machine writes it, but it actually has the ink and everything in
and
it.
different kinds of ink too. It can be blue, gray,
Yeah.
black. It's not just one ink.
Huh.
Yes. See the difference between that and a rubber stamp?
Yeah. Well, the auto pen, because when you magnify that, you can tell that that's actually a pen writing. Where the rubber stamp, when you magnify it, it don't have no variations.
Right.
It's
You can see the shakiness in
but
it. And you can
the
see
auto
stops
pen one,
and starts.
it'll have variations, just like if you signed it.
Yeah,
Then.
there's stops and starts right there.
Yeah.
There's
How can they tell the difference?
Well, they know the difference because of NASA. They know
Okay.
which is which. And
They,
these are
they know which
examples.
ones NASA used
These
to
were
do.
ones supplied by NASA.
Okay.
And this one right here from Neil Armstrong, he says he believes this was the first one,
Auto pen.
the first auto pen pattern,
I would-
1962.
I mean, looking at it, it looks like his real signature.
It would to
Of
me.
course, now the auto pen signature isn't worth as much as his actual
No.
signature.
No,
By no means.
and it
But
says
when he wrote that,
Well, first of all, he signed his name, and then the computer probably
Yeah.
scans it, and then the.
right?
But what gets me though, Howard, is that they actually use a pen that has the ink in it. You
Yeah.
know, and they sign it.
different color.
Yeah.
So you know what that tells me? What about some of these movie stars, baseball, just any of that? What keeps people from using a computer and setting up an auto pen to do it?
You
That'd
see
be
what-
hard to track down.
You see what this says right here? It says forgeries are common, especially on the internet.
Yeah, I can see that. I was wondering, so he's not signing
So unless
his
it
signature on this picture, and while he's doing that, this auto pen is.
No,
No.
that's how Lincoln did.
was no.
When Lincoln signed his name, they had this contraption made up, and it might have 20 pens.
It was, but
And-
that was mechanical.
Mechanical, though, but it actually, when
And
he
they had-
moved,
they
it
had,
moved.
They had 20 things laying underneath
Yeah.
those pens. It's the same document. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
and when he signed it, or same letter or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
And when he signed it signed them all.
They signed them all.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says due to increasing value of Armstrong's autograph, forgeries are common and becoming more sophisticated.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
And I guess that would be true of any famous person's autograph.
Yeah.
You better research it
Well-
thoroughly.
Unless it was like PSA or something.
Yeah, that's what I
like
mean,
that,
have it
wouldn't-
certified
I-
somewhere.
Yeah,
I
or
would be
Beckett.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
be worried about it.
Yeah.
I'd still, you know what? I just wonder though if you shouldn't be worried anyway.
Well, if they couldn't fool them.
If you didn't
yeah.
physically see him sign it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what you pay for that. What do you got there, Phil?
Speaking of autographs, I've got 7 Gemini astronaut autographs, 6 from the first class and one guy who was second class. And it sold for $2,350 with $6 shipping. And it came out of the John Smith collection, signed in the 1960s. And it's got a little biography of all the guys who signed it. It's just a 4x6 index card, and it's stamped along the top. It says, group autograph card of outstanding personalities of the world. And then it's got the astronauts' signatures underneath it. They sign nicely on the little lines there. Let's see.
You know, I bet you a lot of personnel like down at Cape Canaveral. Well, matter of fact, we had a guy one time up here. He's gone now. He passed away, but that's where he worked, and he got a lot of real signatures.
Yeah. But probably at the time, well, of course, if somebody going into space, you know immediately they're going to be famous.
Mm-hmm.
But how many times, well, like that checklist that was on there, you know, they probably were a lot of those laying around.
Mm-hmm.
And who would think that 50 years later it would be worth that much money?
I would
To
want,
have saved it, you know. Well,
Yeah.
we printed hundreds of those.
I would want the one from Apollo 13.
Well, of course. Yeah. But you know, I mean, it's just like you say, so many people work there, but how many of them actually save something,
Yeah.
knowing or thinking that someday it might be worth
Yeah,
something?
and you know they think to save the flags or things like that.
Yeah.
But just the
But
little checklist,
the
cards,
checklist and things like that,
The little
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
which
Unless
are
one of them kept
really
it for themselves, you know.
really significant today.
And you got to keep in mind too, like at Canaveral, you know, a lot of those parts and stuff they took off of those rockets.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they throw them in a junk pile.
Oh,
How
yeah.
many?
They
I wonder
scrapped
how many pieces got took on.
Yeah, well, that's true too.
Well, you know, it reminds me of, did you ever watch that show, Salvage One with Andy Griffin?
No.
Salvage, where he was a junk man, you know, he would run a yard like a CFC, and he got all these scrap NASA stuff, and he built him a rocket.
Yeah, I see. Like I
Went to the
remember.
moon
I remember.
and
it.
salvaged the moon landing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know,
Yeah,
I didn't see it,
kinda
but I remember the
I
idea
kinda
about it, yeah.
remember. I
Yeah.
either read about it or seen it. That's been a
Reminds me of
long
that.
time ago. Yeah.
yeah, I looked at, I thought about it a few months ago and looked it up on the internet and watched it. I liked it, you know.
Well, I guess if you could fly to the moon, what would the government do if you took their rover or whatever? Huh?
I'm going to tell you something, you know, when you bring it back now, all it's good for is collector, put in a museum or a collector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the technology's obsolete.
Yeah, but I just
It's not
wondered,
top secret
the
anymore.
government, if you was to snatch one of them up, if you could get to the moon,
What good they do?
well, the government.
I mean, the
It's
moon,
It's just the government.
the moon is not anybody's territory.
Yeah, well, evidently the
And
government
it's
claim it.
abandoned. The stuff's
Well,
abandoned.
Now,
I bet you $100 that rover or something says property of NASA or property of the U.S. government on it somewhere.
But they abandoned it. I bet you if you went to court, it'd be like that shipwreck. The ship will go.
yeah,
You
I
know?
don't know. I'm kind of like David. I bet they have some kind of claim.
I bet if I could get there, you could keep it.
Well, won't you work on that?
I don't think I'll ever be able to do that.
I don't know if you could buddy up with the guy that builds electric cars. You
with
could.
Musk, with Elon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he could do that. He could be Andy.
Yeah, he might be.
He could be the one to snatch it up.
Yeah, he could be the man.
But that's
And he's got the money to litigate with him too.
Could you picture that, Howard? You could be watching this live as he lands on the moon and snatches that thing up and grabs the flag and brings it all back.
I think I would leave the flag. I wouldn't take their flag.
I bet he'd get it all.
Yeah. But you know,
He'd put his own flag up
can you
there.
imagine what it would be worth?
Yeah, he'd grab that flag and he'd put his own up there.
Flies under an American flag on all the SpaceX rockets, so yeah.
Yeah, he just put another flag up.
Well, he contracts with NASA, you know. They
Yeah.
pull his contract if he did that. They penalize him.
That might.
Hey, you
might
got
do
another
so.
part there?
I've got a NASA Apollo Saturn V rocket IU flight hardware control distributor. This is 16 inches by 14 inches by 7.5 inches, and it's just part of the computer brain that flew the Saturn V. It sold for $2,200.
And your watch has probably got more processing power.
Yeah, it looks like a junction box for an electrical thing, but it's 14 by 16 inches, you know, so it's kind of a big one.
then it won't work on your laptop.
Probably not. You know, you'd have to have an adapter at least.
Yeah.
Obsolete.
Then what would you do with it other than just?
Display it.
Well, it'd be
Display
a
it
good
and talk about
conversation
it.
piece.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I guess if it says made by IBM, so maybe if you were an IBM guy.
Yeah.
Neil Armstrong owned Apollo 11 beta cloth patch. Okay, so this is just a patch for the mission. $2,200.
Now I can see the patches being real collectible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Yes.
first patch we've come across. On
Yeah. I could.
You think we ought to take a break?
Well, if we're at a breaking
Can we
point,
take a
we're
break?
almost at time.
Yeah, I'll give you one more. Buzz Aldrin, Apollo 11. This
Uh-huh.
is the picture of him on the moon. PSA graded of 10, mint 10, 4x10, $2,000.
Wow.
Hey, when we get back, let's look up some SpaceX collectibles.
Sure.
Yeah.
Here's
Okay.
an original Apollo 11 flight plan. Now I'd like to have that.
What'd that bring?
It brought somewhere north of $2,200.
Huh.
Wow. That's interesting.
Wonder how many they printed, Howard.
Again, yeah. Who would have thought? I bet. How many of them were thrown away?
Yeah.
We'll be right back with more Let's Talk Antiques.
Hello, I'm Pick and Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in and get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy pick.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
All right. Let's. Now we're going to talk about SpaceX.
Yeah,
That's-
sure.
But an interesting fact there, you just talked about that they caught the.
Oh yeah, they've been catching the boosters or landing the boosters, but they caught the fairing, which is the part that protects the satellites.
Yeah.
During the launch, and they said that this is the first time that they caught a fairing, and that it's got parachutes on it that are steerable, which I don't necessarily understand how they do that, but and some kind of netting thing where they caught it. But they said that Elon Musk said that every time one of those just crashes into the ocean, that's like throwing away $6 million.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
he is all about
Well,
economy and reusing things.
Well,
and-
you got a private
Yeah.
organization that is interested in profit.
Yeah, I'd say it
That's-
probably.
That's why it's more efficient.
There you go. It might cost $100,000 to, recertify that fairing to make sure it's secure and
You know,
everything.
what
but
too
that's
many years
$6
ago,
million.
everything fell in the ocean and disappeared.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And sometimes, well, I guess they did recover the capsule,
Well,
except the one where the door come open or something, and it sunk after they
Oh,
just
that's
barely
right. Yeah,
got
yeah.
barely got the people out of it. But now he's landing the rockets that took them, the boosters. I guess they're
Oh, yeah.
coming back down and landing.
They land on themselves
Yeah, come
by
down.
themselves. Just it's crazy to watch. It's
Yeah,
just really amazing.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'd like to go see one in person.
And now he's a gentleman also that is planning on going to Mars.
Yeah, that's what all his profits going for. Is
Yeah.
his design for his rocket
And I
to
think he's
go
going
to Mars.
He's wanting to have a city on Mars with people living in it eventually or soon.
Okay.
In the future. And
yeah, I don't
think I'll get to see it, but
You might.
You may.
You never know.
I know when I was a little boy, I used to read all the science fiction books I could get my hands on, and I wanted to go to space so bad. You know.
There you go. And his one of his big rockets, it actually looks like a 1950s rocket. It's the skin on it is stainless steel, and somehow there's water underneath it for some kind of cooling
Yeah.
thing. And I thought it was a joke when I first saw it on the internet. I thought somebody was
No.
But no, it is seriously like it looks like something from the 1950s.
Yeah.
Did you
completely.
watch the video where they launched the first crew cabinet, as a test that they
Yeah.
done it automated? I watched that whole
Yeah.
video. I love that.
Well, some of the old science fiction books, like that were written by Heinlein and Amscroft, and Clark was another.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were.
Those things are coming true almost the way they predicted it. And,
Isn't that
pretty
amazing?
amazing.
Isn't that
Yeah.
something? That they had that vision 40,
So
50
if you
years
got the
ago.
vision, you can make it happen. Is what it amounts to, don't
Yeah.
it?
If you have the vision and you have the wherewithal to make that vision
You
come
have the
true,
money.
that's the problem sometimes is the money or the backing.
The money's always the problem.
Isn't
I
it?
mean, you can
Yeah.
do anything you want if you got enough
If
money.
you got enough
Well,
money.
You can do anything.
Well, I don't know about that. The government's got plenty, and they don't do everything they want.
They don't have the willpower to do
Yeah,
it.
they don't. It's not private, is it?
No.
It's not the
Well,
willpower
you-
anymore.
It's like saving the $6 million piece.
Well, you know, the government a lot of times is like it's like you know what who designed the camel? A committee. Well, that's what happens when you get with the
Yeah.
government. It's so many hands in the pot. But
Yeah.
if you have one person with that vision,
Well,
and he's got the money, and he can make it happen.
And here's,
Like Howard Hughes.
Like Howard,
here's the
yeah.
thing.
and willing
They'll
to
get a
take
program
responsibility.
started,
Yeah.
and they'll get it on track, and they'll get it going their way. Then the administration changes. All of a sudden, they don't want to do it no more. So there's that money gone.
Yeah.
You know, they cancel the program. You know, because they won't fund it this next administration.
That,
Now,
Yeah.
a lot of times that's true too.
That's the deal. Lots of times.
Politics.
Yeah. All right. Well, the most valuable
sorry
SpaceX
about
thing I
that.
found is it's a commemorative coin from the Dragon mission. Gosh, let's see. It went out of focus on that shot. Oh, so this is from the first private company that ever docked with the International Space Station. So that's to commemorate that launch. And I'm trying to find a date on it. May 22nd, 2012.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. That's not when it
How much
first
that coin
docked.
bring?
No, it docked-
$1,700.
It was 2 or 3 months ago. You know,
Yeah, let's say it
when
was-
they
it was
docked
last year,
the
but-
manned one,
Right.
Not the
Well-
because they've been carrying supplies there for years.
Yeah.
But when they docked the manned one,
So this coin's $1,700. There you
What,
go.
what about this picture here? You got that?
Oh, there's a bunch of pictures of Elon.
Yeah, but it's signed and it's graded, and it must have brought over $1,300. What do you?
Yeah. Elon Musk autographed 11 by 14 photo. I believe he's standing in front of one of his Teslas there too, probably. So nice autograph. Oh, he's standing in front of what is that?
Looks
Times
like
Square, or this says NASA behind him on the screens that going by.
I've got the Boring Company, not a flamethrower. Now this is also Elon Musk's an instruction book. They brought around $2,000 a piece.
Yeah, that was a fundraiser they did for his tunneling
Yeah, for
company.
his tunneling company.
If
And he had hats. You know,
it
the hats
was,
brought big money.
They were selling these flamethrowers, and then they changed them to called
Not
not
a
a flamethrower,
flamethrower.
but they're flamethrowers.
Well, because you couldn't
Not a
sell a real flame, you know, the
it's a
flamethrower.
real flamethrower, yeah.
So you had to
So,
call it something else.
2 gram. Here's a SpaceX employee mission patches, 19 of them, including the Falcon Heavy demo. $700 for those 19 patches. A SpaceX CRS-7 recovered solar array piece in acrylic. This was an employee gift. 10 bids on that went for $1,025.
Wouldn't you like to be the junk man at one of these places?
Oh,
I sure
Lord,
would. I
yes.
sure would.
Or hey, the janitor.
Or the
Carry
janitor.
out
Yeah.
the paperwork.
Empty the trash cans. And
Yeah.
You know, there's a
Keep
lot
little
of stuff else they
things
just
that
take
got
it
thrown
out
away,
and
a
throw away.
patch that wasn't quite right or something. You
Or
know,
they'll be scribbling.
Or
You know,
scribble.
somebody famous will scribble.
So,
Sorry, I was reading.
Well, I see. I tell you what, I see something different. It's not a flamethrower, and there's also a fire extinguisher that goes with it. and
not a fire extinguisher. but-
not a fire extinguisher. 2 hats and a T-shirt. I think they brought about $1,400. I can find it again. But I had brought that anyway.
What you got there, Philip?
This is a SpaceX CRS-3 space flown to the International Space Station Dragon insulation. So it's a piece of the insulation from the Dragon capsule.
Piece of insulation, Howard.
Yeah.
The winning 23 bids on it. The winning bid was $6,043. Or no, I'm sorry, 643.
Oh,
sorry,
oh.
I
For a
threw
little
an extra
piece.
Well, that's
zero.
still awful.
Zero
That's
in
still a
there.
lot
Yeah.
for a piece of
It's a
insulation.
piece of insulation.
What if
yeah.
I can go up in the attic and get some insulation?
Yeah, I'd say this is like a year or two old. Yeah, it's not. There's several other. Here's another.
Hey, we got a call.
Oh, we got a call. Okay, let's see what we got here. You're on Let's Talk Antiques.
Hey, I have 2 items. They're just alike except different sizes. I'd be interested in knowing about. In 1982 or 81, for a short time, I worked over at Huntsville in Space Lab crew training, and I have 2 jackets, blue nylon snap-up jackets. They're silk screened on the back with a picture of the space shuttle, and then on the front it has a pretty embroidered patch. And Space Lab was a module that sat in the back of the shuttle before there was a space station, and they did experiments in the back.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
In the back of the shuttle. They've been worn, so they're not new, but the patches are perfect shape. Ever seen anything like that?
I see
They were
some.
probably only available to employees.
I see a real NASA jacket, Space Lab 1. Does that sound? The patch says
Yeah.
Space Lab 1 on it.
Yes, probably.
I've got one that went for $28 and the one that went for $40. So
Okay.
not a lot.
What's
That's
that
kinda
$300 piece? What's that?
surprising. That's a Gore-Tex jacket that's just thrown in randomly.
Oh, okay.
So,
And the one item I wish I hadn't been so honest about was one of the scientists on Space Lab lost his ID, and I found it.
Oh,
He was from Europe, because most of the people were from Europe, and I think he was German. But anyway, if I'd have pocketed that instead of turning it back in, it's probably brought a handsome price now. But,
yeah, there's not even anything like that on here.
no.
Well, he probably appreciated getting his ID back.
Well, they wouldn't they have just reissued it to him?
They might have deported him.
Yeah, but he would have had the ID to
Yeah.
sell on eBay or something now. Yeah.
Yeah, and if they caught you selling something on eBay.
Yeah.
No, you probably did the right thing.
Yes.
yeah,
You did
the
the
most
right
trouble I've ever been in was fishing without a fishing line.
Yeah. Yeah, we wouldn't
You do
want
not want to do that.
right.
That's not fun anymore.
Yeah,
no.
we're going to have to go. We're out of time.
Oh, okay.
Thanks
Okay.
for
Thanks for
calling.
calling in.
guys.
Yeah, thanks. See ya.
Mhm.
All right, we're out of time, fellas. We're going to have to call it quits for this week.
Oh,
We'll be back next week.
do we have to call it quits?
Yeah. We'll be
Why did you
back
put
next
your hand-
week
you
with
think I was
more
gonna-
Let's Talk Antiques.